Yeah, bloody oath. Well said. What about Hilary Clinton? She gave an interview to the BBC today, now claiming that Donald Trump is part of an Epstein files cover-up.
I just want it to be fair. I want everybody treated the same way. That's not true for my husband and me, because other witnesses were asked to testify. They gave written statements under oath. We offered that. They want to pull us. Why do they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated.
Yeah. Hilary Clinton, wife of Bill Clinton, who is in the Epstein files almost more than Jeffrey Epstein himself. The photos, the flight log. How dare she?
Like, honestly, there are few in the Epstein files as many times as Bill Clinton. Like, there's a long, long history between those two. And so long, in fact, that they were too scared to testify before Congress. You and I talked about this a week or two ago, and tried to dodge the subpoenas that they'd been issued. And then they folded like cheap tents because they knew they didn't have a leg to stand on. So, you know, they will be giving testimony on that at the end of the month. But Bill Clinton was, at least Donald Trump admits that he was friends with Epstein for 10 years before they had a massive falling out. Bill Clinton tries to admit tries to say he didn't even know the guy. Meanwhile, there he is in pictures with him in Epstein's hot tub with some young ladies, and in other pictures frolicking about. God only knows what the history between those two is. We're going to find out more at the end of this month. But I mean, everything that comes out of Hillary Clinton's mouth is a lie. Like, if her lips are moving, she's lying. And her daughter, Chelsea Clinton, she comes out the ultimate Nepo baby. Why would we listen to her on anything? Anything? What has she done in order to earn our good opinion on anything she has to say? Did she accomplish anything? Did she work for 10 years in a certain industry, gives her extra? No, nothing. She ran her disgusting family foundation that appears to be corrupt to the eyelids. So she decides to come out and say, oh, these are only AI-generated issues of my dad. Close, but no cigar. In response to which the whole internet said, well, there was a cigar, actually. If we must get technical, there has been a cigar. I think we all know where he put it. And you might want to take a seat in trying to exonerate your dad out of disgusting, filthy sexual misconduct.
Now, I've got to ask you about the latest lefty outrage, which is circling the wagons around TV talk show host Stephen Colbert. Now, we know how lefty he is. We know that he is out to cause as much noise as he can between now and when he finally gets finished off on CBS in May. And the latest example of that is he claimed on his show that he was told by the lawyers for the network that he could not interview a Democratic politician, because there are weird provisions under the law that say during an election time, if you talk to one candidate, you have to talk to all of the candidates. So he didn't do it on TV. Instead, he did it on YouTube. That's now got 2.5 million viewers. And a lot of people saying censorship.
You know who is not one of my guests tonight? That's Texas State Representative James Tallarico. He was supposed to be here, but we were told in no uncertain terms by our network's lawyers, who called us directly, that we could not have him on the broadcast. Then I was told in some uncertain terms that not only could I not have him on, I could not mention me not having him on. And because my network clearly doesn't want us to talk about this, let's talk about this.
So I think that the FCC was just not enforcing this rule, and now they are. And apparently what just came out this evening was, and I'm reading here, The Late Show was not prohibited by CBS from broadcasting that interview. They just told Stephen Colbert that if you do it, the FCC equal time rule for the two other candidates, Democrats, will kick in. So you're going to have on Jasmine Crockett in addition to this Democrat who's challenging her in the primary, if you do it. And apparently he didn't want to do that. I don't blame him. Who wants to talk to her? So he put it on YouTube and got more viewers there than he's gotten in the past 10 years on his late night show. So he's fine. I, for one, am thrilled to see the FCC rattling the cage a bit of these late night shows, whether it's Kimmel or Colbert, because The days of pretending that these are sheer comedy shows and not political shows are over. That's all they are. They ceased a long time ago going for laughs. All they want is applause to their political hit jobs. And so why don't we just accept what they are telling us they are and proceed accordingly?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are comedians, but they are obviously of the left. They are political players. They're happy to win journalistic awards like the Peabodys. So good luck to them. Oh, by the way, what about the Media Research Council today? They came out with research suggesting that the major late night shows have not a single Republican candidate on since 2016. Lovely to see you as always, Megan. Look forward to hanging out with you next week.
The pleasure's always mine. Thanks, Paul.